So before we get started, maybe first some practical information. As we have many subscriptions, I would suggest that you put your micro on mute to avoid background noises. The presentation itself will take about 40 minutes, then followed by some Q&A. So it means that we will wrap up around 1:15, 1:30 the latest. And should you have any questions rising, please use the chat box. We will come back on it during the Q&A, unless if we see that you have really a burning question related to what is said at the moment itself, then yeah, unmute yourself and we can immediately answer the question. Should you have any technical issues, you can use the chat box as well. We have Dimitri here with us from our team, and he is our specialist in all these technical issues, so he will help you. He will try to help you out. The webinar will be registered, and we will then afterwards send you a link so that you can listen to it again. The slides, the presentation itself will be shared with you as well. We will send the participants list to our speakers of today. And if you don't want that we share your contact details, then please drop it also in the chat. We will also share the details of our speakers so that you afterwards, if you are interested in getting a demo from them, so they're really happy to show you how they could help you with the digital mentoring. So before I give the floor to our speakers of today, Joke and Audrey, I will give you a quick introduction on us, HR Talents, for those of the people who don't know us yet. Yeah, next. So yeah, HR Talents, for those who don't know us yet, is part of the group House of Talents. And House of Talents has 12 business lines that offer secondment, interim, recruitment and selection and assessment services, and which has a short focus on shortage occupations where there is a high demand for structurally, where the demand is very high and structurally rising, such as nurses, engineers, salespeople, IT experts, and also HR professionals. And this, you can bring us to the next slide, please. So yeah, HR Talent is one of these business lines. Myself, I am Sigrun, Belgian, living in Lyon, host of this webinar together with our general manager, Sophia, who will intervene also from time to time. Hi, Sophia.
Hi.
I'm international HR matchmaker for HR Talent, so that means when companies have a need outside of Belgium or inside of Belgium for regional or global HR support, I will be the one matching the companies with the HR freelancers. And then on the next slide, we will see a bit more about the business that HR Talents is into, the services that we offer. So on the one hand, interim management, matching HR freelancers with the companies in Belgium and in Europe and even beyond for urgent and temporary HR support. We also have 30 consultants on our payroll who mainly in Belgium and in the Netherlands will help companies for payroll issues or more HR generalist topics. And then we also can help companies in their recruitment needs for permanent positions. So that means that in fact we support our clients to build their entire talent pipeline. We also acquired Quintessence and can help companies with who wants to run assessment centers. So these are the businesses or the services that HR Talents offers. And that will bring us to the next slide then, with some facts and figures. We are since 14 years on the market and working really into the niche of HR and international. So we're active in 15 countries. And today we have 150 HR professionals who are working for us, HR freelancers on temporary assignments. We are also working on 120 today vacancies for permanent positions. We have about 500 clients, and every day we meet new HR freelancers. Really, we meet them in person, screen them in depth, know them in depth. And as of today, we have a pool of 30,000 screened HR professionals. And that brings us to the next slide then. So yeah, if you have a need for HR support, really any HR support we can help you with, be it for HR, hard HR, soft HR topics, generalist needs that you have. Do you need a payroll officer, or do you need a chief HRO, a global people and culture manager, a coach, an HRIS specialist? We can help you on any HR need that you have. Next, please. And this gives you a bit an idea of our team. You see here a big part of our team together with our CEO, Steve Rousseau, and also Sophia, our general manager. And then on the next pictures, you will see a bit more about the kind of events that we organize, how we create our HR community. In fact, we organize dinners for our HR clients. And I see, by the way, on the picture, some people who subscribed also for this webinar. We have every year a barbecue for our HR freelancers. We organize workshops. We bring people to an HR gala. So on these kinds of events, we really bring people together. We're really people focused and focused on developing a relationship with our companies, with the corporate leaders, and with our HR freelancers. So yeah, then we can move on. Yeah, today you are here, in fact, to learn more about mentoring, right? And the agenda of today is why mentoring can attract and develop and retain talent. How does it happen? And we will have Joke, who will share also some lessons that she learned from running or setting up a mentoring program in the company where she worked. We will also learn how to unleash the power of mentoring and which can be the benefits to your organization. As said, if you have any question, you can already drop them in the chat box, or at the end of the session when we will be able to unmute everybody, then you can also ask the questions that you have. The two speakers of today are Joke Van Acker, Belgian, living in Switzerland. We met Joke a couple of years ago at an international HR conference and stayed in touch since then. We got to know her as a very positive lady and a busy bee full of energy. She's indeed a senior HR executive in a large Swiss headquartered multinational company, and has she looks still very young, but she has a 25 years of experience in development, talent, organization setup, and mentoring. And she's also the executive vice president and head of mentoring programs at PN, Professional Network. On top of her passion for mentoring, she's also highly interested in coaching and diversity and inclusion. So she will be one of the guest speakers of today. And we also have Audrey with us, who is a senior leader with more than 20 years of experience in IT, senior leader in a large pharma corporation headquartered in the US. Audrey is French, living in Munich, president of the Professional Network since 2017. And the Professional Network, if I get it right, has 150 members worldwide in Europe, US, and Asia. And Audrey is passionate about growing peoples, unlocking possibility, and bringing together diverse teams. Interested, of course, in mentoring also, and diversity, inclusion, and leadership development. So the two ladies, I would say the floor is yours now to tell us more about mentoring and what it can bring to all of us.
Thank you, Simone. And just before we get started, we thought with Joke, it will be good you scan this QR code with your phone, or you go online on the menti.com, because we have two questions for you today. And this question is to know better how you understand mentoring. So you should be able to go on the page and let me know if all is fine. Because I will move to the first question.
Can you put back the slide, because I was not able to scan?
Oops. Sure. Can you scan?
Wait a sec.
Yeah. Let's wait a little moment so everybody can.
I do.
Scanning. We are too excited, Esther, you know, to move to see answers.
Or I am too.
No.
No, I'm always too fast. Don't worry.
No.
I know where it's coming from. We are all on the page.
Everybody can screen the code with the phone.
Put the number in the chat, because that's another option.
For the code?
For the code, yes. I mean,
I can put it there just 1 second. I give you the code.
Yeah.
Good.
Let me know.
Perfect.
So I will start with the first question. The first one we thought with Joke will be interesting for us to know is, what do you understand mentoring mean? And you can answer normally answers in the field and share with us your understanding of mentoring. So you should be able to see something where you have field and enter data.
So we have interesting words coming up, growing, perspective. Oh, how do you feel? That's interesting. How do you feel? Next level coaching, growing, share experience. I like that one.
Yeah. I still see a lot of people can vote. Oops. I lost my screen.
Challenging. So nice one to come back on. Teaching.
Learning also, I see.
Yeah. Guidance. That's a good one.
Experience sharing, I see. Anyone else wants to vote? Yeah, it's still coming. Good. Sharing insight, discovery.
How to find your way? How to find your ways? Yeah.
This one I agree.
We'll talk a bit more about that after.
Yeah. Anybody else wants to vote, or I can move to the next question? Before I move, I'm asking, then I can press. I believe now we are good.
Yeah, interesting. Thanks a lot for sharing what mentoring means for you. It was interesting to see.
And the next question we had with Joke is to understand how do you run mentoring program maybe today in your company or where you are? And there are 4 options. The first one is you don't have mentoring today, or you use, like, you will understand our story, an Excel file, or you have a platform, or you have given this to an external partner to run your program. So the vast majority are still not having mentoring program. Okay.
Yeah, I see 68 no with the current voting, 14. It's manual, it gets up to 17 now, then 14% with the platform, and 3% which is external. Okay, yeah, indeed.
So you will be able to learn a lot today.
Yes, and I would like just to give one more second if someone has to vote, otherwise we can move back to the webinar. Shall we close the vote now?
Anybody still wants to vote, just maybe stop in the chat. If no comments, then I would suggest to move forward. Yeah, and thanks everybody for voting. It gives a very good glimpse of the audience today on the call, and also how we focus on the content. Thanks a lot. Great. All right.
Thank you. So, did you know that actually what you show today on your results is also something we see in many studies, especially the one from Forbes in 2019. There are a lot of people that are interested by mentoring. 78% knows that if they are mentored, they could be successful both in their career, but also personally. So 8 out of 10 people in this room believe that mentoring is key for success. But only 30% had once a mentor in their life, meaning 3 out of 10 in this room, which is very short number of people. And this is something we have observed in our life. We know that mentoring was a limited resource, and it was also most of the time given to a few. But most of the studies that we have observed and we study with Joke these past years shown that if you mentor people, you will target both attraction and retention. You give more development opportunities. And we will talk about to whom this is important. And some of the studies have shown that 91% of the people, when they are mentored, say they are happier. You increase retention in your company by 72%, but also you reduce costs because you don't have to train so much people, but also you don't have to spend so much energy and effort to find new talents. So why mentoring has been so difficult to be given to more people? And is what we will discuss with Joke, where we found out the situation when we started, but also how we have unleashed the power of mentoring, because we strongly believe everyone deserves the best mentor. It has a real impact on society. And when people are mentored, they stay longer in your company. But we have questions that we have today discussed with Sigrun. And I will press for the first one, and Sigrun, I let you read the question.
Yes, thank you. Yes, Audrey, tell us, why can mentoring help attract and develop and retain talent? Because that's quite ambitious.
Agree. It's an ambitious target to have mentoring for everybody. And at the same time, most of the studies that we have currently in hand show that by 2025, 75% of the population in companies will be millennium. So it's very important shift because these people that are coming to your company, they know that being mentored is the base of their success. So they expect that you offer mentoring. If you don't, they will go elsewhere. And you know how hard it is to attract these talents, but also to ensure they join your company. So you have to differentiate yourself and look around. There is not so much mentoring. So when you can offer mentoring to this population, they will join you because they know that this is the base of their success. Now, mentoring as a way to develop people, it's a key because it's knowledge and experience sharing. I can talk about myself. I discovered mentoring very late, but thanks to the network and thanks to the solution we have implemented, I was matched to a very great mentor, and he helped me really to be successful in the last jobs I had in Mindtree. And I was able in 2 years to exceed my targets and to be able to generate large sales for my organization. Without the mentors that the professional network gave me and the platform that was matching me to this person, I won't have been able to be so successful. And I know now, because I know how I was before mentoring and how I am now being mentored. The more important is that because I was mentored and we have given this mentoring to other people in organization with whom we work in professional network, their HR told us that people stayed longer than expected. And the duration is that they can stay 2 to 3 years longer than in average. And this time they stay. It's time that they are more productive, but also they help the organization to grow. So it's a win-win. When people see that you invest into them, then you mentor them and you give them the best mentor. You develop a relationship based on gratitude, but also people know that you are investing in them because you trust in their development. And this is what we have ready to tell you is mentoring is for everybody. Develop your talent to keeping people motivated, engaged, and to make sure that fit to the job you want from them. You need a mentor and you need the best one. That's what I've learned for myself. Sigrun.
Because it can also be a way when you approach candidates, when you mention that you offer the mentoring, that this will make a difference to candidates when they choose the company there, where they want to work for.
Indeed. And most of the people, they just don't look about your training catalog because this is commodity. They don't just look about your leadership team and your diversity. They look how you are going to develop them. And very few companies put mentoring out there for all employees. It's mainly, given to the top talent because the resources are scarce, but also because it was something that people thought that it was only for the top 10 of the top of the crop. But actually, if you allow me this one, when you mentor everybody, you increase your impact on your people because they become more efficient quicker. But for new talents coming to your company, please consider they look for that because they know, compared to the other generation, that mentoring is a key for success.
Okay. Yeah, maybe just one thing to add. From my experience, people want to have something different. And especially nowadays, people look for purpose. They want to accelerate their skills, but they look for something different. So having the opportunity of offering mentoring and having a mentor, it also gives comfort. And especially like Audrey said, if you look to the next generations to come, they need some guidance, they with all what is happening in the world, they kind of, help me to do it myself, can somebody guide me? And we saw it in the survey coming up, right? Guidance, show me the way. And this is really something that gives comfort to people. And it's not kind of a training you attend 1 or 2 days, it's more a journey. And standing also with the professional network, talking a bit more of the network, which I would also like to highlight here, and it can be whatever network. It can be within the company, can be cross companies, can be with HR talents, PN, but having a strong network, helping each other out, giving back, but also taking back, it's so powerful. It's really powerful. And mentoring fits partly into that. There are many different ways, but from my experience, I have more and more people who indeed ask me, what is your company offering? What are the tools? Do you have coaching? Do you have mentoring? And the mentoring, it's it's a bit more informal, and that's why I really like it a lot. And again, I'm also executive coach, so I love the coaching, but still I would not do the one without the other.
Okay. And do you have any data about how many companies or which kind of industries are more interested in mentoring programs?
We know that 75% of all the Fortune 500 have a sort of mentoring program in place. But most of them, we know they are marginal, and they have also some difficulty in terms of impact, because they are doing that. And we will explain to you how we did it manually and limited to a certain number of people. So everyone tries to have mentoring in one way or one fashion. The difficulty is the scale. So the mentoring exists from the beginning of the humanity. It's just that it's limited in terms of reach, because people believe it's only reserved for a few. And this is why also some of the studies we have looked into recommend to be very careful with that, because it could be also seen by talents and your employees that you don't want to give them the chance for growth if you do mentoring for only a very small group or dedicated group. People look at that, so they are really looking how you treat them and how you give them access to a tool that now everybody knows they could be successful with. Do you have another question?
Okay.
Can I move to the next question?
So maybe Yoko, you can tell us a bit more about your experiences, how you can unleash, in fact, the power of mentoring. How did you do it?
Absolutely, Sigrid. So unleashing, I love already the word, unleash the power of mentoring. So let me go a bit back in time on where it started and where we are today. So first of all, with the professional network, but also in my own company, there was a big request in terms of the mentoring, helping each other out, how to support, but also how to accelerate. And when we look back to our members we had in 2017, there was indeed a request of, could we do maybe something cross-industry? So Audrey, we said, you know what, being both passionate with the mentoring and those kind of developments of leadership and also women in leadership at that time, we wanted to do a pilot. So we kicked off the pilot, a lot of ideas, and we had 6 pairs. So 6 pairs, meaning 12 people, meaning 1 pair, we have 1 mentor and 1 mentee. Pilot was a great success, and the year after, 2018, the 6 become 20, and then the 20 become 40 pairs. So there we did face some challenges with Audrey and also the team. Having said that, all people are volunteers, right, in the network. So you dedicate the time on top of your normal day-to-day activity, being a mom, a father, working. So we realized that we were limited in time using the Excel files, spending time on the LinkedIn to try at best to match the mentor and mentee based on their profile, based on their forms they filled in, what they needed, and then what the mentor could offer. So we tried to brainstorm again, and then we came to some of the conclusion that we needed to develop a platform, brought in a lot of other passionate people to say, let us develop algorithm that things can become more digital, that we can do a minimum effort with a maximum of result, focusing on the quality. Because why do we do mentoring and why do we do networking and having HR people together is to focus on the people, to focus on the skills. It can be hard skills, soft skills, like you mentioned, Sigrun. How do you put all the things together, but not on spending time on Excel files and trying to scratch the head how we match people with also the common, and that's my experience, both in my company and with PN, that you start to be biased. Oh, I believe this person fits with this person. You look to the profiles, and this is not how you do the best mentoring. And secondly, also the time that you spend is not optimal, right? So currently today, how did we unleash the power of mentoring? Is putting indeed into our platform the different requests on the mentor and mentee and getting the best match. So the tool in a very simple way, and we can talk about it. And we also said we can do a separate session to show the demo on the tool. But there it really is all about, and we see it here, minimum effort, with maximum impact. And today, the beauty is as well, we have people in Australia, thanks to the platform, met with people in Brazil, we have people in Belgium, met with people in Germany, in US. So we have people of all over the world into the program. And they are matched in a very objective way based on what they wanted to have in terms of skills and guidance. And it can be a very variety of skills, and also what the mentors, what they offer and want to give back to the people.
And Joke, do you train the mentors? Do you expect people to know what to do when they are a mentor, or how do you make sure that the quality of the mentors is okay?
Yeah, very good question, Sophia. So again, going back a bit on the time. So when we started, first of all, we have a very good pool of mentors in our sponsors, and including my company sponsoring also and believing strongly in the network. But we have other companies, so that's one pool within the professional network. We also, the good thing that we have is that we have a lot of members who come back year after year, who stay with us and who are experienced mentors. We have also new people coming in, and there, what we did also in the past, several things. I can give a few examples. We had a full day where we kind of started with the basis of mentoring, asked again, like we did with the mentee mentor, you know, and the mentee meter and the scan, to see where are people in their experience. Also, when we ask mentors to subscribe, we ask experience. So, for example, did you lead people? Did you already do mentoring before? And how many years of experience in leadership? So we do have the profile, and where we do see the need that people can help each other, but also for the newcomers, we do give the tools. So we had workshops also with the external consultant once, which was very nice, where people had to learn the tools, how you do at best the mentorship, you know, how you can really be a good mentor. And the beauty of the network is that we help each other. So if we see that some people want to become a mentor, but don't have so many experience, we do additional efforts to let them become and flourish as a mentor. And this is one thing we also want to look more in detail to share already with you, with Audrey and the team, is to make sure that also in the platform, we look at some modules to make sure that we can have more tools for the mentors, you know, to continue to develop them and to scale them. But that's work in progress, to be honest.
And we had also a community of mentors that we built, that they can also exchange and grow with each other.
Yeah.
And some of them are very senior mentors, and they are helping more junior mentors to develop and exchanging between themselves. So we have facilitated also a platform where mentors can really talk with each other on a regular basis. And we have training that we are proposing within the professional network regarding some of the key skills that we believe as a leader and as a good mentor you need to have, especially storytelling and communication. Because all the things you know, you will have to share it with people in a way that they can relate. And that's what the power of stories are very important in mentoring, but also the power of asking questions, listening actively, is all the skills that are very critical today for any member of our association, but also as leader in an organization. And we are a platform where we facilitate this learning because we want our members and mentors and mentees to grow in that area. So we offer the options for them to grow, but we continue to look for more, let's say, skill sets that we can develop with them. That is where we are today, and we are happy to see that our mentors come back every year. They are also telling us something very important, and you will see that in the next slide, is that actually mentors are getting more out of the relationship than the mentees. That has helped them in their career. They are also learning skills that they didn't develop before. And this is skills they can really translate into their daily job as a leader or as a manager in an organization. So I always had that feedback from mentors that they were more on the benefit side of the equation, knowing that the mentee are benefiting a lot, but the mentor had that regular feedback that they were very empowered by growing as a mentor.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. That's very clear, Audrey. And I was also wondering, Joke or Audrey, what is the difference then with coaching? Because you have mentoring and coaching, and what are for you the differences?
Okay, you want to take this one?
I can say I can start with that one. The main and the big difference with coaching, between coaching and mentoring, is that the coaching is you don't guide people, you don't really teach people, you know, or you kind of learn them to do it themselves. You know, I like that a lot in the mentoring, learn me to do it myself. The big difference with coaching is that people need to come with their own solutions and their own answer. Coaching is all about powerful questions. When you ask the question, what would you do? What makes you think about that? What makes you act like this? So that's really, the coaching is all about questioning, and people find with the questioning their own answers. The mentoring, and that's why we said earlier, it's kind of more of a comfort for people, because you guide them, you help them to do it themselves, you transfer some of the skill sets, and that is nothing what we do in the coaching, right? So that's why I like to have my head of executive coach and really ask the question. And some people tell me, oh my God, again, this difficult question, Joke, do you want me now to find the answer? And of course you can guide a bit, you know, you ask, okay, do you want me to support in finding or formulating? Mentoring is much more larger, right? So that's really also the beauty of mentoring, that it's a more, I would say, a free flow. And I can share one of my experiences that really helped me a lot as a mentor. The first mentee, one of the first mentee I had years ago was a Belgian lady, and she wanted to write a book. And I was like, oh, okay. Not sure if you took the right mentor. It was before the platform, but still I was selected as her mentor. And the book, I'm proud, the book is in my bookstore here at home. And I remember still that we were kind of looking for the frame, you know, and I didn't know you could spend hours in just looking for, you know, the right cover of a book. But there I had an au pair at the time who was American. She was doing the proofreading, you know, of the English version of the book. So it kind of expanded. And that's something what is for me really typical for mentoring. So you kind of guide with your experience on the big things, but the mentee asks so many things on support, which is another experience that you come at the end as a result that you say, well, you have a book translated in English with the right cover because you use your creativity. So you don't have to be expert in anything, you know, and you don't have to be expert in powerful questions if you do the mentoring. So for me, it's very different. And at the same time, sometimes the result come towards each other, right?
Thank you, Joke. And it's interesting, in fact, that you explained the differences also between coaching and mentoring, because it's not clear to everyone, or sometimes it is mixed up both. In which kind of situations would you rather suggest persons to go into a coaching rather than into a mentoring? In which situations mentoring would be more preferred?
I would say if you really want to learn something, and the example that Audrey gave, I like it, right? But let me take another one, not to come always on the public speaking is a very good one, influencing, but another one which I see personally as an HR that I would want to have mentoring for some people is the negotiation skills. That's typically where I would advise a mentoring, you know, take a good procurement woman or lady or whoever that helps you to really, you know, stand for yourself, negotiate whatever, from a car to in the shop to your salary or your package. Those are the things where I would really advise on the hard skills of negotiation. Take a good mentor that can really help you, give you the tips and tricks in a very powerful way. On the coaching,
just one example on this one. So negotiation is something that makes people very uncomfortable. I mean, you negotiate from the morning you wake up to have your coffee, to even parking your car, to the end of the day. And people underestimate that you have to really masterize the negotiation. And one of the members of our association, she wanted to learn. And thanks to the platform in our organization, we had a senior lawyer that joined our organization because he was inspired to bring mentoring and to develop himself as a mentor. And the platform matched them both. And that has been an amazing learning for both of them, because he learned how to explain the ropes and the things he learned to be such a senior lawyer in a large corporation where there was a lot of negotiation all the time, and to pass on this knowledge to this person that wanted to learn and to toughen up. So the two had a very great experience because one had the skills and the knowledge, but he didn't know how to transmit it. The other one wanted to learn, but she never been exposed to this type of environment. But making them together to work during 1 year, they both developed very nicely. And I can say that because the person that I'm referring to, Drazenka Kleshik, she has developed in negotiation like never before. And this is something that we observe in our organization, how people develop, how people are growing, but also how do you retain this knowledge? Because if Erwan, that was her mentor, will never have done that effort, the knowledge will be gone because one day this knowledge is not there. But now he has passed it to Drazenka and Drazenka will pass it to someone else. So we have this pollination of knowledge and the knowledge stays within company or organization. That's something that for me, I strongly believe we underestimate how much we know ourselves as experts. But when the expertise is not given back, not transmitted, this is gone. And mentoring is about transmission of knowledge and making sure that you have other people that will know what you know and be proud about it, because when they can, learn and develop and stand thanks to you, you are the one that has been creating this new capability in this person. And as a mentor, I know what is the impact I'm doing to the person in front of me.
Thanks, Audrey. And then maybe to answer on the coaching, typically where I believe it's powerful and sometimes needed for people is when they get into this career discussion or career dilemma, I would like to move, but I'm not sure, and the risk. There, I really believe that a coaching, having the powerful question, what do you want, but also asking questions like, what do you don't want? What is it that you don't want anymore in your life, in your career, in your development? Who are the people who, kind of are your energy drainers, who suck out the energy of you, and who are the one that gave you energy? So people really then, oh, that's helpful. Oh, this is a good question. And then they come to their own conclusion, what they want, don't want. And I believe mentoring is less appropriate for such. I think the coaching here can be more powerful.
Yeah.
Good.
That's clear.
And in general, what we have observed is it's also for our own association. As soon as we put mentoring in place, first of all, we have attracted more members. And it was very visible because every year on year, each time we are opening our mentoring program, we have more and more people becoming member of our association. But also, we have seen that it attracts in places where mentoring is available in companies. Retention, as an association, I can tell you, before mentoring, the time people will have stayed with us was around 1 year, maybe 2 years. Today, I am president for this association since 2017, and I have members that are still with us since we launched the first program, because they are growing with us. They are never stopping, the recognition is there, but also they gain new skills, new exposure, they are mentoring new people. And this has helped us to really keep our mentors, our members longer. And we have seen that in also organizations we work with. People stayed longer because they were mentored through professional network. And we are discussing with our partners, they see the power of mentoring because it's not so expensive compared to sending people in training, but people are staying in their company and they are thankful of being mentored. But most of important things that I also for myself recognize is that I have also developed, thanks to this mentoring journey, a very strong network of people, multi-talented skills. They live everywhere around the world. And we had in October celebration where one of the mentors came over from South Africa to be with us for celebrating the power of mentoring. So imagine that people are coming all around the world to be together to unleash the power of this network, the networking of the mentors and the mentees. And is what I love the most with this organization, and also to give mentoring to many, is because it's so incredibly diverse. I have so many people that I won't have met in my life without mentoring. And I'm so rich of this experience, and also the members and of the association and company we work with, that we feel that we are more empowered, more knowledgeable, but also stronger of the network we have. So that's what I say, mentoring can bring so much benefits. And I strongly believe we should bring mentoring to everyone.
And Audrey and Joke, so you talk a lot about the project that you launched within the organization that you're working for. Mm-hmm. Is that at a closed network? Can other people also use the networking or the mentoring network that you raised, or what is the message here that you open it up for other people, or do you say no, you have to create it yourself in your own company or your own organization, looking for mentors and looking for mentees?
I will say two things. I will always welcome people to join an organization, and we are looking for more and more people to join us because we unleash the power of mentoring in professional network thanks to Stellar. But I will say just look into doing both at the same time. And I know that you might be looking, oh, how I'm going to do that? But with Stellar and the platform we have, we can power mentoring everywhere. We are really looking for bringing diversity and mentoring to everyone. So we are happy to support that you join us, you want to do in your place or both together. Joke, what do you say?
Yeah, absolutely. So if and I talk now to the audience, right? So if people would say, oh, maybe I have already my network, or I don't want in particular to join the professional network, but I'm still very interested to see how I could leverage the platform Stellar in my own company or in my own maybe network. If people would have that here, that is absolutely an option as well, to say, well, I will use Stellar and to leverage on Stellar in my company. There is no need also then to, so you could say as an individual, I would like to test it out and see what it is in terms of being in the professional network, and then maybe enroll as an individual in the mentoring program. So it could be both, depending on what is the need of the people. Does that answer, Sophia, and to the group?
Yes, okay, thank you.
And I strongly believe, the word of mouth and testimonials could also speak for themselves. So we took two for today, and I will ask Joke to share with you. There are plenty that we can share about the experiences of these professionals that got mentored thanks to Stellar and PN, because at the end of the day, they are real people. They are real people like Matthew, like me, like other ones that we have met. And I would like Joke to take this one and explain a little bit about Matthew and what he said about being part of this mentoring journey with us.
Sure, I can do. So indeed, Matthew is one of the people I know for close to 10 years. And so I asked if I could share a bit his story today, where he was happy to do, and he trusts that also other people can benefit from the learnings. So when I spoke with Matthew, his wish was, he's based in Australia. So he was like sharing that being a bit further away from the other regions and countries, he said it would be very beneficial for me to go a bit outside of my own company and my direct colleagues. I also would like to discuss things and ask things which, would be for me better if it's outside of my own company. That was one. Outside of his region, or his, outside of Australia, let's call it like this. And then also being with some other industries, because he is for a long time in the same industry. And then I brought him indeed in contact with PN and say, well, if you want, you can become a member. If you just want to be a mentor, you don't need in particular to become a member. You can also be a volunteer as a mentor, which we always appreciate. He said, you know what, I would like to be mentor, mentee, and then I will take it from there. So you can see his experience here, but he is very, very grateful in terms of being the mentor-mentee, which is now for the 3rd year. And he inscribed again for the upcoming program in 2023, where he said that it accelerated his career. He also made them kind of staying at the company, thanks to the fact that he could really exchange with mentee and mentors in other industries and other companies. And he has somebody in Germany. So for him, it was like a very valuable experience and kind of broadened his view, but also broadened his network. And he said it really accelerated the knowledge and the experience he could get much faster than if he would have not been with his mentor and mentee. And then the other testimonial is another lady that I personally know well professionally, that I had the chance also to be part of her journey, and she is currently the senior director. She was before a senior manager, so she was always remembering, she said, how can I be more a networker? How can I be, you know, a bit more the small talk? I say, for networking, you don't have to be in small talk. If you network, it can be just, you know, that what you want to learn and what you want to give back. So also Alexandra became mentor-mentee and is still in the professional network. And recently she got promoted, and she has a lot of now also contact within the network. And she also opened up in terms of doing speaking slots. And she said this is something that, yeah, she could never have done, but also didn't really thought about, and always thought she never had time for that. And this is something I would really want to say. We all have, I think with Audrey, or I think Sophia, we all are busy, right? And I cannot talk for the people here, all of you on the phone, but I believe all of you are busy. It's just a matter how much time you want to invest for yourself. And if you are an HR in a company, I believe also for the other people, you know, what as a professional you want to set up as a platform or as an ID. And again, it's just getting some inspiration, whatever you take out of it, but to make sure that you carve out enough time for yourself, first of all, because if you don't do it for yourself, nobody will do it for you, to continue to learn, to continue to grow, but also get inspired. My inspiration, to be honest, and it's a fair comment, I don't get most of my inspiration, to be honest, in my day-to-day job. I get my inspiration and I challenge myself thanks to all the people in my network, my mentors, and I have a few secret mentors. They are not in any platform, in any program, but I just watch them because I admire them and I learn so much from them. So again, it's much larger than only one little thing, but I would encourage everybody to reflect a bit after the webinar and say, hey, how can I continue to develop myself, give back what I didn't got myself. And here I speak for myself. If I look back 20 or 30 years ago, I want to give to the people and also to the next generation what I didn't got myself, which if I look back at it, I say, oh my God, what a pity that I didn't have the right people who were kind of around me to just continue to develop myself. So those are the two stories I wanted to share, including a bit my own experience and on thoughts on helping others to do it themselves.
Yeah, and one thing you said that is very true. Everyone will tell me, I don't have time. I'm too busy. I have too much work. But most of the people that, and I was one of these persons saying that, you are busy with yourself in your little rat wheel that you don't develop anymore. You just work. And some of the next opportunity will not come to you because you are not having time and space to develop yourself. And you don't have time nor space mentally and emotionally to grow and to take the next challenge. Mentoring is about that. It's about putting yourself first, looking what you want to learn, and preparing yourself for the journey. Because some of this job where we landed with Joke didn't come just because we were there. It's because we prepared for it. And we prepared for it in advance. We knew we wanted to go there. We got mentored. We worked on it. And then when the opportunity came, we were ready. And then we had to continue to work for continuing to perform in the job, right? It was not like because we were prepared, it was enough. And I wish I could have had a mentor earlier because I consider I wasted time. I was busy learning things that might not be useful today. And a mentor will have guided me and helped me to grow faster. I learned, I grew, but there are things that I would have liked to have helped at some point because I didn't know some people could share this knowledge with me. And I wish now to give that back to the ones that are coming after me because it could be very stressful at work. It could be very difficult if you don't have help and you don't find the right support. So it's what I'm saying, look beyond yourself. There are other people that will need your experience and your support to extend what you learn. And actually, you learn more than what you believe. And it's something I realized for myself that thanks to mentoring, I can share more than what I knew I had learned all these years. And it's great because then I know that I didn't invest all this time for nothing. and other people will learn from me. And this is also something I'm passionate about, sharing and helping other people to grow, and they don't need to do all the mistakes I've done myself. They can go faster. Seriously, that's much better, right? Learning from my mistakes is better.
And Audrey, maybe for people who might potentially be interested to become a mentor, but who are there saying, okay, I'm already working so hard, it would take more of my time on top of what I'm doing already. How much time should you take into account, in fact, to make a real impact on a mentee, really help people growing? How much time on a monthly basis, roughly, should you take into account before taking the decision to become a mentor or a mentee?
If I say to you that if you already spend 30 minutes with someone once a month, you can change and impact their life forever. What is 30 minutes in a month's time? Nothing. But I had impacted people with 30 minutes of my time, and they still recognize the time I spent with this 30 minutes conversation. So 30 minutes in my calendar, I can put, because it's also 30 minutes for myself. Because when I do that for someone, I do it for me first. And 30 minutes is nothing, but one conversation can change the life of someone. So think about it. We are too busy with things that you could look into social media, checking your Facebook. I'm sure you will spend these 30 minutes doing just browsing a web shop for Black Friday.
It really depends, because I can share with my experience of the last 20 years as being a mentor. I have had mentees, where there was kind of this, just thinking about a concrete example, people who are in a job search, who kind of, it's already from the CV, where they say, can you just have a look at it? But then there need to be some pace, right? You cannot just say, I wait every month to just have in that case, there was the 10 months of mentoring at that time. Now it's kind of more than 6 months, but at that time it was still 10 months mentoring. I spent kind of very intensively, and intensively in the sense of every week we had a checkpoint, the CV, the interview till the contract closure, and also celebrating the signature and the new job. And then the other months were kind of a check-in on the onboarding, how things were, like what we said, once a month, half an hour, that's it. So again, it's your own time. You decide a bit. We never put any, fixed time. But in an average, I would say, right? Over the period, I would say kind of a 1 hour a month, where sometimes it's a 30-minute conversation, and then 2 weeks after you do a quick call or you check in. Kind of what I would say that people should take into account to become a mentor. And
also, if you want to be a mentee,
and
also if you want to be a mentee, that's both sides actually. Because I also say to people, you need to think about yourself being still a learner, and you need to look what you want to learn. So think about what you want also to have as an opportunity. And this is between what Joke said, 30 minutes to 1 hour a month. It's a small time invested both ways. But it's true that some of this relationship I had with mentees were more time consuming at the beginning, because you need to really understand what they want, what they are looking for, and put a frame. So it's what we call the mentoring agreement. But once this is there, once you have put this safe framework and you start exchanging, the discussion evolves quickly. But the beginning will be always a bit more effort, because you need really to invest into the relationship. And at the same time, over time, the relationship continues. I still talk to the mentor I was mentioning before. I still have checkpoints with them. I'm still checking how I'm progressing. I'm asking them feedback and also inputs. It means that the relationship of mentoring never ends. I'm continuing having this conversation with mentors I had. They stay my mentors. I will have new ones, because someone said to me, you cannot have one mentor that covers all. Today, you need almost a mentor for everything in your life. It's G.C. Maxwell. It's a powerful leader in US. So I always look at what sort of skills I want to learn, what sort of things I want to do, and who are the best person to help me there. But if I have more than one thing I want to learn, it's very rare I can find one person to cover it all. So it means I also have to accept that I will have to look for more mentors to help me to grow where I need this learning.
Do we have questions coming in from our dear audience?
On the question.
Comments, observations.
I was wondering, because we don't have questions in the chat, but I would be interested to hear from people who are listening here. What did you expect from the webinar? What did you want to learn, and what questions do you still have after this explanation of Audrey and Joke? Because we have some experts here who also have experience with mentoring. Maybe they can add something on it.
Sure.
Be curious also to hear and to learn.
Should I show the chat, Sophia?
Yes, we have a question here in the chat. Ilse, who is asking the profiles of your mentors and mentees. The profiles, I'm sorry. Do they all only work in corporations, or are there also entrepreneurs?
We have both. We have both.
Yeah.
So the skill sets from working in corporation and entrepreneurs are really relatable. And some of these skills, like we were discussing, negotiation, communication. We have also some skills in finance. When you are an entrepreneur, very key. You find them on both worlds.
Yeah, and the good thing, we had several requests also of people who are in a corporation today and said, oh, I would reflect and think making my own company, you know. And then it's very good to have people who are also entrepreneur to share how they did their startup, how they did their company. It starts already from the website, as we said, coming back, Sigmund, on your question, difference with coaching and mentoring. A coach will not, you know, support somebody to set up the company, right? So with the questions, but the mentoring, you can guide people to say, hey, you know, the toolkits, the tips and tricks, how to set up a company in a certain environment. So that's also good to have the mix of both.
Someone else having any questions or something, some experience to share? Are there people working in a company who are interested in getting to know more how this digital solution with as I heard, well, very big impact and efficient in matching mentors and mentee, people who want to know more about it?
We are happy to get in touch with them. So when you will see the recording, we are on social media, both for Professional Network and Stellar Mentoring. I give you my number, and we are happy to make a demo and show you how we do this in reality and this matching, but also how we run the program, because matching is one part of the solution we have, but we have also a structured approach, how we manage program from the beginning to the end of the relationship, how we make sure that we can measure progresses. Because at the end of the day is what we learn with Joke. We need to ensure that this is a structured approach. Learning is structured, but mentoring as well. And we have that environment where we help people to develop, where we are checking in with them. And it has proven to be one of the most impactful way to ensure people keep up with their mentoring. So happy to take any conversation and get a call with you, and that we can show you how we do that and inspire you or help you to do it in your organization. I see another question. Sometimes people most in need are least willing. How to approach them smartly?
That's a good one. That's a good
interesting question, yeah.
And a good and a true one, yeah. I can start maybe to share my input on that, which unfortunately we have more than we would wish, right, in our day-to-day life. One of the things is here important is that they are, in my experience at least, put in front of people who have a strong strength in influencing. And here I would rather say who have coaching experience, already starting with the question, what is holding you back? You know, from maybe admitting your learning need, you know, what makes you, you know, kind of hesitate to do it, or what are your experience that you may doubt, you know, to have it. So here I would put an influencer. If you talk a bit about the Gallup Strength Finder, look somebody with a good influencing profile and who can ask the right question. And the other part, which is, I believe, the most important, is the trust. You know, if you have people who are like a bit, you know, not sure or reluctant or whatever, least willing, it's also good to have somebody in front of them who they might trust to have a conversation and who can influence to push them a bit out of the comfort zone or make time, as we said, for it, and try to find out what is the reason that they are the least willing.
Also to share that it exists, because some people are not just not willing, they don't know that it exists. Finding a mentor, it's one of the things that is currently considered by professionals the most difficult. Especially with the COVID, when we all went in remote, it's not easy to get access to people. That is why having this platform is important for us, because we could, during COVID, offer mentoring, but also talk about it. Don't forget, it was not such a long time ago that mentoring was kept for a few. Now people start to hear about it, but they still don't know what it is, because we had so few people got mentored so far that we don't have yet the size effect. The more we will get people mentored, the more we can talk about it, the more we can share how much we learned and how much we got from it, the more people will know it exists. It's a question to give it accessible to many, but we need to talk more about mentoring.
And maybe just to come back on the question, another thought on that one, how to approach it, because it feels like that those people also maybe don't always, you know, kind of want to or take the time to have some self-awareness, you know, and then I would always be tempted from then my HR head to put the people in front of a 360, you know, to at least they get feedback from their environment. And if there is a need, also other people might identify the need. And then if you have a 360, you kind of get it in front of you, right? The feedback. And that might be a nice twist as well to say, hey, what did you learn from the 360 and the feedback? And maybe there are some key topics that other people can support you to accelerate in development or to do something with that. So again, just a couple of thoughts here.
I think you did it to one of the people we know in the network. That was something that that helped him to realize he needed some external mentoring and help, right?
Yes, and again, sometimes you find the right person who is the best to be in front of that person, right? Just to have an open and trustful conversation. How would it look like if you would do this or that, you know?
Any other question from someone for today?
Or closing words from anybody?
Thank you, Heike, for joining.
Thanks, Heike.
Hi, Heike.
Maybe I have one question for the participants. We saw in the beginning that most of the people don't have a mentoring program into the company. Are there some of you who are really interested in it, but you were struggling with issues to bring it into the company? What is it then? Were people trying to bring in mentoring, but what issues did you deal with that made it not work? Is there someone who had this experience to share?
That's a good question. We need to add this one for the survey, actually.
No one, it looks.
Or everybody is hungry.
It's time for.
It's fine. And anyway, as we said, contact details are there. We are very findable everywhere on the LinkedIn, social medias, through HR talents. So believe that if there is interest, if people want to discuss a bit offline, have whatever discussion linked with all this, feel free to reach out to both of us.
And thank you so much, Sigrun, Sofia, and Dimitri for setting up the scene and giving us the opportunity to talk about it. That was very, very great to have this chance. And I strongly believe with HR talents, you can connect the dots and connect the right people with each other. So that's a big gift. So thank you for the opportunity and the time today and your powerful question.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, it is an interesting, in fact, because we meet so many people and we hear all the time from HR, yeah, the issues where they're struggling, it is really attract people, retain people. And we heard from you that mentoring can give a solution to that, because you can make a difference. We all know with the war on talent how difficult it is to find candidates. If this can already be a point that that attracts people to join your company, it's definitely something to think about, to consider. If it makes that people will stay longer in your company and it has a cost when they leave, definitely interesting to hear about mentoring. I didn't know so much about it before I met you, so great to hear. Thanks to the both of you too.
Very welcome, and indeed, thanks again for the opportunity. And I hope also, again, we always say that networking is very powerful beyond mentoring or anything else. So trust that also we get connected with some of the people here and expand our network and learnings.
Yeah,
exactly.
We will share the presentation as said. We will share the slides as well, contact details, so that you can, if interested, continue conversations between you and the speakers.
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Everybody.
Thanks to all, and Audrey and Joke specifically, and Sigrun for the setup of this webinar, and Dimitri for the logistics. Thank you all, and have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.